Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Initiative Order, and welcome especially to ArcaKnights, a Power Ranger live play series here on the Initiative Order. I'm Will, our ArcLight Court, the lore keeper here at ArcLight Court. But with me are 5 of my Rangers for tonight's wonderful session. If you haven't checked it out before, you could find the first 2 episodes over on the Initiative Order's YouTube page to get caught up with us. We are currently on episode 3. So we'll go right around. We'll have everybody give their names, the character they're playing, their Ranger Spectrum color, and jump into tonight's wonderful series of events. And let's start all the way with Brandon.
Hello, everyone. It is me, Brandon O'Brien. I am a poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago, and tonight I will be playing Marcia Ambrose, the Pink Ranger.
Yes. Up next, Pluto.
Hey everyone, I am Pluto. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Frankie Oliver, pronouns he, him, and I am the Green ArcaKnight Ranger.
Yeah. Up next, Krimsin. You're muted.
It was such a cool
Hey
intro.
y'all, I'm Crimson Galaxy. That's Krimsin, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. My pronouns are they, them, she, and they. And today I am playing Gina Garcia, the Yellow Spectrum Ranger.
Yes. Up next, Javante.
Hey everyone, my name is Javante. Pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Dior, the Black Spectrum Ranger.
And last but certainly not least, Alec.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alec, or Alec the Bard. I'm a TTRPG content creator, and I am playing Peter Hentz, the Red Ranger.
And again, I am Will, ArcLight Court. I am the GM for tonight's session. Any and all pronouns because I play any and all characters. So let's go ahead and dive into the intro and get into tonight's session. And as we begin tonight's session, the ending of our last one had our Rangers gathered at Ranger Point, a popular hangout spot at the top of the mountains behind UCAG. Few of our members met with some new friends that had invited them there. Some people asked some very peculiar questions, and one of our players met old teammates and was a part of a hazing ritual, I guess could be stated, when war drums, very familiar war drums, began playing around them, calling and leading them to see and witness the appearance of Hesius, the general of the Dread Hallows, the evil forces of our Power Rangers. And as Hesius appeared, so too did our ArcaKnight Green Ranger, who was leading a intro boxing class at the dojo, who absolutely didn't get pummeled by a 65-year-old woman.
Yeah, it was a smooth class. Nothing of note happened. It was pretty chill.
Are you sure?
And as you all are now here at Ranger Point, the sun is settled. There are twinklings of stars in the night sky as this armored centaur appears, floating head with a helmet over the top, a large lance on the back, shield to one side, bow and arrow to the other, calling out, "So this is where the power chamber has been hidden. Draugr, find the Vorpal Blade. Find the Notaria. Don't let any interfere with what we are doing." As pulling from the ground beneath, rumbling, you can see the forms of the ancient warriors cobbled together take form and start moving through the crowd of people. What would you like to do?
I'm going to quit because I was still like digging with my hands and feet against the ground, see what's happening. I'm going to. How many people are around me right now?
So, Nikos was just speaking with you and then walked away. It was as he walked away that you started like scuttling around the ground, trying to figure out what this metal feel underneath the dirt was coming from. There's maybe 3 or 4 people, but as the Draugr started to form, you can see most of everyone that's up at Ranger Point is taking off down the hiking path that you guys had taken walking up to this area. There's still about 3 or 4 people in the area. Give me an alertness check.
Oh, I'm so good at these. D4. Oh, that was actually not bad. That's a dirty 20.
So you do see one person. You know that her name is Selena. She was at the team building social experiment that you guys were put together in. She was one of the people behind the table handing out the like group lists and things of that nature. She looks to be backed into like one of the crags of the mountain itself, and there are 3 or 4 Draugr that look to be moving towards her. Not to attack her, but like they're trying to get through that rock face that she's currently backed up against.
He's not going to think about this decision. It sort of just happens, but he is going to, if I have like ability to grab like a stick as I'm running, I want to pick up a stick and just run and try to swing it at one of the Draugr that's walking to her.
Alrighty, make me we'll go with, this is essentially like an improvised weapon kind of thing. So it won't count towards your power weapon. Just give me either might or brawn.
Do might. That's I'm trying to read my D4. That's a 13.
A 13. That absolutely. So you crack one of the ones closest to her. And as you do, you watch the like stone carved helmet and like half made chainmail off the back of the Draugr's head. It just collapses and breaks as the body crumbles, and you leave an opening between there for her. The rest of you watch as Dior almost immediately like springs into action, grabbing some like random stick off of like a old bush or tree that used to be up here, and just beams one of these Draugr in the back of the head.
And it's, if she's not running, just point her, just like, get out, go, 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 go.
She immediately like ducks and tries to make her way towards the hiking trail. Frankie, you were teleported somewhere behind that rock crag, away from viewing of everyone else.
Oh, okay. So, I'm obviously gonna run towards the noise. So that I come like out back, like around where Dior's at then?
Yeah, as you come around that corner, Dior is right there, and you can see there are 3 other Draugr there, and one of them is crumbled down, and Dior's got a broken stick in his hand.
I look at Dior, look at the 3 drawer. You guys started the party without me? What the hell? And I just immediately run up and punch the closest one in the face.
All right. Give me a brawling.
Yeah, I have bots, and so I will roll. That's the one thing I invested very heavily in. I believe that's, yeah, it's a D6, D4, D2. So let's roll. The D20 first. Okay. D6 was a... Okay, so that's going to be a 15.
15?
Yeah.
That definitely hits. That does 1 point or 2 points?
It is 1 point of stun damage while I'm not in ranger form.
All right, so the 1 point, you reach back, punch into like the shoulder, upper torso portion of one, and you watch it like stagger before it falls, hits the ground, and starts to displace. Marcia, what are you doing?
You're muted.
So is anyone immediately around me at this moment?
Immediately around you, give me an alertness check.
Okay.
Your DC is 10.
Does insight help me here?
Insight? No. You're not reading like body language
Right,
of
yeah.
other people.
Cool. I guess I don't know. I guess it suddenly became dark. I rolled a
There's
4.
there's so many people moving. You just watch Dior attack one of the Draugr. Frankie showed up out of nowhere. You didn't even know he was here. One girl just ran past Dior trying to get to the hiking trail. Arvon, who's the person who had invited you, you see he's got like cans, like soda cans in his hands, and he's like throwing them towards the centaur, trying to like get his attention away from, you know, where these people are that are trying to run away. But you can't, there's way too many people moving around you.
So I'm gonna take that as a hint that I've seen what Arvon is doing.
Yes.
So how far away am I from Hesius?
Hesius is maybe about 30-45 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to pick up the largest thing around me and chuck it right at Hesius's head.
All right, give me a targeting roll.
Aha. Ooh. This is gonna be fun. I rolled a 10.
10. Let me see. I do believe their evasion is... Yeah. So you look over, you see the chair that some of the like cartons of the sodas were sitting on up there. It's like a folding chair. You grab it, turn it, and go to throw it towards are you throwing it at a Draugr, or are you throwing it at Hesius?
At Hesius.
At Hesius. As you throw it at Hesius, you see the shield that's along one of the equian sides of his body immediately moves onto his arm, and he like bats the chair away as you throw it, and you see the head swivel towards you. This like green flame underneath where the neck would be as the head turns and looks. All humans, just a pain in our sides. Leave.
Okay.
I shout back at it, "You want me to leave? You're gonna have to get rid of me." And then I start running.
Alrighty. With that, Krimsin, what is Gina doing?
Well, Gina was just talking with Damien or Bone and saw all of this shit, all of these monsters come out of the woodwork. So I think her first priority is actually trying to make sure all of the civilians can get clear before it turns into too much of a battle, not only so that everyone can morph without revealing our identities, but also just because she wants to make sure everyone gets out okay.
Okay. So if you're trying to get a read on to see if there's any more people who need to leave, give me an alertness check. If you're trying to
Yeah.
call people towards you to leave and go down the path, give me a persuasion check.
All right. I'm legitimately just trying to like see if anyone is frozen, too afraid to move, just like out in the open or anything. And I'm just trying to get their attention so that they can actually like notice that other people are still around and not be frozen stuck in that moment anymore.
Okay. Give me the alertness check first.
All right.
The DC will be 14.
That is 12 on the 20 and a 4 on the 4.
That's how we do it. So you do see there doesn't look to be anybody frozen right now. It doesn't seem like anybody's in that shocked state. Everybody almost immediately either tried to help other people get out or were already making their way down the hiking path. The 3 people other than your ranger allies that you see that are still around, the guy with the red paint handprint on his chest that that Alex said was or Peter said was one of his friends, Arvon, who's next to Marcia, who's throwing soda cans at Hesius, and Bone, who it looks like he's taken out like a switchblade from his pocket and is like standing next to you, just trying to see what you're going to do. But other than that, it's the Draugr, Hesius, and your ranger allies.
All right. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna turn to Bone and I'm going to say, you gotta get that guy with the red handprint and them out of here. The rest of us are all know what we're doing. We're martial artists. We just need to make sure everyone has enough time to get away. Please just help them get out of here so we can make sure no one else is like hurt and unable to move.
Okay. Now give me the persuasion roll. That will be
I only have a D2.
Yeah, this will also be a DC 12. It would have been higher, but Bone's a friend. And if you say you guys got this, he's going to believe you.
That's only a 1 on the D2. Yeah, that's a 7 altogether.
Bone looks to you and says, I'll get them. You get your friends out too. We can't be up here. This is only going to get worse.
That's the plan. That's the plan, I swear.
So he goes rushing over to Arvon, who's the closest right now. And that's where we'll leave that. Peter.
Yes, quick question. So on this like party cliff that we're on, is this a place where people would drive? It's like, you know, people would drive their cars up here and park up here to like then like have the party, like, or was it like we park at the bottom of the hill and then walk up?
So you could drive a car or like a small truck up the pathway to get up there. But with the amount of people who were going to be up there, nobody drove a car.
No, there's no cars up here. Dang.
Mm-mm.
All right, that's fine. Hesius is looking over at Marcia, I'm gonna basically try to do what everybody else is doing, and I'm gonna grab what's around me. What can I grab?
So there's plenty of rocks. There's the soda cans. There's a cooler. There's a couple of chairs.
Is
There's
there a keg?
Give me an alertness.
All right. I'm not great at that. Oh, beans. All right. Okay, not bad. That is a 12.
There are 3 or 4 kegs.
Perfect.
One of them you can tell is already empty because the tap there's not a tap on it. It's just open and it's been moved over. So there is one empty one that's got the tap in the top of it, and another one you can see that's completely full.
All right, I'm gonna grab the empty one, and I'm going to attempt to, because this is a centaur person, right?
Yes.
So they got horse legs, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to take the keg, and I'm going to attempt to Donkey Kong throw it at its knee, try to take out its legs.
Okay.
That's the plan.
So you can either give me a might roll or a targeting. If you're throwing it, it would be targeting. If you're holding it and just swinging into them, then it would be might.
I'm gonna do might because that's much better. That is a total of a 15.
A 15?
Mm-hmm.
You grab the empty keg, rush forward, go to bash it into one of the back legs. As you get closer, you can see now the armor on this centaur, very similar to the armor that you all wear when in your ranger form. More specifically, very similar to the green ArcaKnight Rangers armor, that dense, thick plating. So as the keg goes and bashes into it, you can see this thing essentially like bend around the leg.
It's still in my aesthetic.
I guess
and then feel the heat of the head turning and looking towards you.
Where's the edge of the cliff?
The edge of the cliff would be probably about 60 feet away from you if you kept running straight past this thing.
Oh, got it. Okay, never mind.
That would be the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep playing this game of keep away to keep his eyes on us and away from the people and away from his job. So I'm just gonna stand right there.
Alrighty.
Holding my bent keg.
This is the weapon of choice right here. So as all of that happens, you watch as the Draugr are like bashing into the stone of the mountain, the crags and the pieces moving up towards the apex of it. They're swinging hammers, broken rusted swords, trying to carve away at the rock of this mountain. They seem to be paying damn near no mind to any of the other humanoids here on the on Ranger Point. Hesius, on the other hand. Peter, you have caught his attention, and so did Arvon and Marcia. So I am going to need, what is Peter's evasion and Marcia's evasion score?
Peter's evasion. Oh, my evasion score is 13.
And my evasion is 15. Nine.
Hesius pulls his head from the shoulders, and you watch the armored jaw portion of the helmet drop as green flame spouts from it as he sweeps the head around, almost like a very evil censer of some kind. As this green flame billows out, Peter, you're able to duck underneath the body of Hesius to avoid it. Marcia and Arvon, you guys are just out of range. You can feel this sickening heat. Like it if it had touched you, you feel that it would have definitely caused some kind of illness to the body, as well as burn it as well. But it is just out of reach of the two of you as you grab Arvon and spin and turn him towards the hiking trail. You then hear Hesius yell out, Amaya, I think it'd be better if things were a bit bigger. As the skies above you fill with purple and green thunderclouds, you can feel a light rainfall fall onto all of you. And as it does, you watch Hesius's form begin to grow, become larger and larger and larger until he is almost 2 or 3 stories tall. He raises an arm back and draws the lance from behind him and brings the point down onto the top of Ranger Point. I need everybody, la-di-da-di everybody, to give me either acrobatics or athletics rolls. The DC is 15.
Athletics, please.
You would think as a boxer I would have athletics, but I have acrobatics for some reason.
Float like a
Said
butterfly, sting like a
15?
bee.
16.
That's another total of 7. Thank you.
7 for Gina.
I-
Marcia, what did you get?
Okay.
What did you get, Marcia?
I got 10.
10. Peter, what did you get?
16.
16. Javante or Dior, what did you get?
I'm going to use one of my perks. I'm going to use capable of anything to re-roll that 1.
Oh.
Okay.
But I have to take the other roll.
Yes.
Okay. It's better than a 1. That's a 3.
Frankie, what did you get?
I got a 15, and the other die was a crit die. So
Awesome. All right. So, Frankie, as this lance point comes down onto onto Ranger Point, you can see sparks come up from it connecting with the ground, like some kind of metal on metal interaction. You're able to move just around that point that you had teleported to avoid what was coming in. Peter, you were almost directly underneath Hesius when this happened. So even as he grew, that arm was so far out that the shockwave and everything had no effect to you. Dior, Marcia, and Gina.
Ruh-roh.
All 3 of you are immediately knocked prone.
Wait.
Dior, I need another acrobatics check from you. The DC is 18. You are the closest to the edge of the cliff.
oh shit.
This is going to be bad. Let's go. Come on, man. That's a 17.
Oh.
Since I'm right there on the corner, can I react to try to grab him and use a story point to get an edge on the roll?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, so would that be acrobatics as well to try to grab him?
Yes, we'll say acrobatics.
Okay. That is a nat 20.
Let's go.
That was a great use of a story point. I'll mark that
That was
off.
great.
Dior,
Yeah.
as your body hits the ground and you begin sliding back, you feel the edge of the cliff to your shoulder blades. And just before you go over the side, from right around the corner, you see Frankie reach down, grab the back of your Disturbed Band t-shirt, and pull you around from the cliff face to the side that he is on, behind the crag, standing.
Dude, we gotta do something. Hold on. Rowan, are we good to morph yet?
You watch as Rowan moves across the screen. The spell circle is still flashing between colors. There's still 3 civilians in the area, but you and Dior are behind that rock face. So you can risk it if you would like to.
Dior's gonna pull out his own phone and just kind of look to Frankie and just, we don't really have much of a choice, I think.
Yeah, let me just make one last one. Can I make a last alertness look to see if the two of us are probably good to morph while everyone else is like around the edge?
Yeah, go ahead and make an alertness roll.
Okay. It's a 14, but the D4 was a crit.
Awesome. So with that, you can tell that the area you're in right now is out of line of sight for those people. What you do get with the crit, though, is Hesius could see you. You don't know if he's looking at you currently, but that might be what was setting off the alert on morphing right now.
I looked at Dior. I think the only one that could potentially see us is the baddie, but I mean, I'm not as concerned with him knowing who we are. We're gonna fight him anyway, right?
Fair enough.
Fuck it, let's do this. It's morphin' time.
Orphan time.
I guess I'll go first since I initiated it. Turn the page, ArcaKnight form, Green Centaur, ArcaKnight Ranger.
That same flash green energy as the spell circle sets to the ground, sensing the urgency and the speed at which this needed to happen, you feel Rowan almost force the morph to happen instantaneously. As from your perspective, Rowan appears and runs directly into you. And as he does, his armor forms the ranger's suit. His antlers move over to the gauntlet. His helm moves and sets over your head as the quick morph takes effect. And our Green Centaur ArcaKnight Ranger is set.
Turn the page. ArcaKnights form. Black Cerberus ArcaKnight Ranger.
And similarly, Chiron knows this is of immediate necessity. As Chiron appears in front of you, all 3 mouths spew the black flame out towards you as he leaps onto your body, forming the Black ArcaKnight Ranger armor onto you in a quick morph.
So as we morph, do we do the cool like giant jump in the air and flip and land in front of the bad guy?
in a moment, yes. Gina.
Mm-hmm.
Bone has been thrown back down the hiking path. Arvon is prone on the ground, pushed up against one of the rock sides. And Peter's friend with the red paint on his shirt is prone, but face down into the dirt. And he's about 15 feet away from you.
Yeah, I gotta go after the person that's face down first. I'm gonna get onto my feet and then expend whatever movement I have left to get over to him to check on him and make sure he's not like seriously hurt.
Alrighty. Give me a finesse or acrobatics roll.
Okay. You know I gotta go finesse. It's the higher roll.
Go for it.
That's a 12.
12. Just got it. So as you roll to your feet like a full forward somersault up onto the feet, kip off, get a few more strides in, you're able to get to Jameson. He's still breathing, though it's very, very labored. You hear, as you get close to him, you hear Saren. As long as nobody's looking, we can maybe move the ground, get him a little bit closer. Use your magic.
Okay. How? Okay, I'll try.
Make a spell casting roll for me. That'll be a D20 and a D2.
Yeah. Let's flip the coin first. So far, I've only gotten heads, which is my 1. I made the arbitrary distinction that tails is 2.
There we go.
And that's another heads.
All right.
And that's a natural 1. Total of 2.
Oh.
You can spend
Can I use a story, point?
Oh.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that. Do I redo both the coin and the die?
You pick one of them.
Oh, it's gotta be the coin. No, I'm kidding.
So there are currently 3 story points left.
All right. That's better. That's better. That's a 15 on the die. Plus
Okay.
1 is 16.
So as you start thinking, okay, you use magic, you cast a spell. Peter cast a spell earlier in the Arcanium Plexus, and he was able to see things in the stadium and teleported his leg brace, or was going to teleport his leg brace. What if I just make the ground move him away, like kind of just shift the sand underneath him? And as you're focusing and thinking this, the ring on your hand glows that gold yellow light. And as you put your hand down next to Jameson's body and you have that thought process, you feel the ground shift him over towards the walkway.
Closer towards Bone, hopefully. Because
Yeah,
I'm
down
hoping
the
Bone
hiking
can help
path.
him get out. And at that, like after I see it's actually working, I'll wait till he stops and then just shout, "Bone, he's down, help him down the mountain." Or Damien, he's down, help him down the mountain.
Bone got a natural 20 on his alertness. So he immediately picks Jameson up and gets to start running down the hiking path. Marcia.
I have to like get up first, don't I? So Arvon is right beside me.
Right beside you. He looks to be currently unconscious.
Jesus. I am going to pick him up and run towards the other 2 that are already down the hiking path.
Okay, give me an athletics roll.
Okay. Athletics, you said.
Yes, this will be a DC 12.
Okay. 12.
And then Peter, you'll be on deck, so
17.
get the cogs moving. 17,
Been
easy
moving this whole
enough.
time.
You're able to get your hands underneath Arvon's, underneath his armpits, underneath the back of his knees, pick him up and start moving towards the hiking path. In doing so, as you get closer to where Bone is and the unconscious Jameson, you hear a familiar voice to you. The Lady Queen Tamaret. Quick spell could keep him from seeing. Maybe a few clouds, a little bit of dust kicked up. Keep him from looking in that direction. As you get to the top of the hiking path where Bone and Jameson are currently.
I will immediately try to cast a small dust devil spell at the top of the hiking path, hoping that it will mostly obscure everybody else, while I'm still physically carrying Arvon in my arms.
Alrighty, D20 plus a D2.
Okay, let's do this.
And this is a DC 15.
It doesn't work. I rolled an 8.
You got an 8. Well, it does still go into effect. But something's a little off about it. As this thought moves through your mind, from the Lady Queen Tamaret, the ring glows in your hand, and you can see the pinks and amethysts coming off of it. As initially the thought is just kick up some dust behind us, kind of obfuscate the area. The energy moves down your arm to your back, and the rest of you from behind Marcia see it form into these dragonfly-like wings that start vibrating very fast, and it starts kicking up some dust. Marcia, Bone looks scared as you're running closer to him. You're unaware of what is happening behind you. The idea of the magic was said, the energy moved, but you don't know what he's seeing currently as you rush towards him and go and bring him Arvon.
Quick, please take Arvon while I try to get the rest of my friends out of here.
I don't know if there were drugs in the Gatorade, and grabs Arvon from your arms. He got a natural 1 on his alertness to what that even is or was going on. Grabs Arvon and turns to go and run. He's already stood Jameson up, and they're moving down the hiking path.
Okay.
Peter.
Yeah, so I'm right underneath this 30-foot monstrosity, right?
Yep.
Got it.
With a
Okay.
bent beer keg.
Right. I'm going to take a look at my phone. Is it giving me the all clear since I'm underneath him?
Red. Bright
Perfect.
red.
Beautiful. And so I just grab it it's morphin' time. Turn the page. ArcaKnights form. Red Dragon ArcaKnight. I'm going to do it as fast as I possibly can.
Similar to the green and black ArcaKnight Rangers, this quick morph takes place, where before it was Cinder taking the form of the dragon and then settling over you. As the spell circle sets beneath you, you see Cinder flying up at you.
Perfect.
As the fire from his mouth covers your body, the wings move over, the dragon head closes over the top, revealing the red dragon ArcaKnight Ranger, as you are now morphed.
So he had a lance, right?
Yes.
I'm going to summon mine, my spear, and be like, you showed me yours, let me show you mine. And I'm going to try to stab up into his belly, because I'm right
Alrighty.
beneath him.
give me a power weapon attack.
Jeez. Oh, I need to change my character. Okay, cool. Power weapon attack.
And this is against it's not evasion. This would be his toughness.
Oh, so that's a 16 on the die plus 5, so a 21.
Yeah. Yeah, you stick him. And you stick him something fierce. The damage of your of your dragon spear is
2 sharp?
2 sharp. Okay. So
Yes.
you inflict the 2 points of damage to him. He does not have any resistances to sharp. So that sticks, and you can feel the dragon spear like vibrating as you are holding it. You can hear Cinder speaking to you through the helmet. We're not strong enough. We're not strong enough right now.
So what do we do?
Just make sure the others are safe. We need to get away from here.
We can't just leave him and let him get what he wants.
I'm gonna call for some help.
All right, we'll hold him off till help gets here, I guess.
Alrighty.
And
Next,
I'll stay underneath him.
Stay underneath him? Alrighty. We then move to our green and black ArcaKnight Rangers. What are you guys doing? There are still Draugr actively like trying to break away at the rock and stone sides of this plateau on the cliff. And Hesius is getting ready to raise the lance again to kind of try and drive it down.
I look to you, Dior. Can you hold their attention? I'm gonna go help out Peter.
Yeah, I got that. Do your best, all right? And
I'll
I'm
try.
Gonna go ahead and give you a. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a shift to any one of your roles using my quips and
Ooh.
speeches.
That is really good for me. Okay, I'm gonna just charge this big.
Okay, all right. So you charge at Hesius.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I want to charge, do a flip to punch him in the side, and if I hit, I want to grapple and stick onto the side of him. Just like punch in and hold myself there and start climbing up this
Alrighty.
dude.
Give me that power weapon attack.
Sure thing. So with a shift, that puts me up to a D8. And I
6, 4, and 2.
Yep, I get to roll all those.
Oh wait, we're supposed to be rolling all of them?
You roll. It's the highest of the dice that you get if you
Oh,
specialize. So if you have
Got
a
it.
specialty, you take the highest dice and roll down and take the highest result.
Got it.
So there's a 3 on the D8. So let me try the D6 to see if I beat it. I do not. Let me try the D4 to see if I beat it. I do. I crit on the D4. So that is a total of 19.
19. That hits.
Okay.
So
I will burn that personal power point to grapple.
you jump off the ground. Couple of really cool like corkscrew front flips. The fist connects into the armor as the antlers then move and grab around it, holding in place. And you can see the green energy from the antlers is now spreading over the torso, the lower torso body of the giant centaur. As you connect and grapple, you hear Rowan. Hesius, brother, you picked the wrong side in this fight.
I'm like looking down at my chest and up to this big ass dude. That's your brother?
You hear it, and Hesius hears it. No one else hears this exchange. As all of you hear from Hesius, mortals weren't worthy of our power. You were weak to give yours to them. Our black ArcaKnight Ranger, what are you doing?
I should say that was, if you don't know, it was 2 energy damage on the hit.
Oh yeah, I've got your
Okay, just making sure. Perfect.
custom one right here.
I'm gonna go ahead and summon out the obsidian axe. and I'm going to head towards where the Draugr are still moving towards where we were and just block their path.
Alrighty. So are you making an attack, or are you just trying to block them off from getting any closer?
I'll go ahead and make an attack. I want to see if I can sweep some of them along.
Alrighty, make that attack with your power weapon.
And that gives me that. So specialized actually gives me this. That would be a 18.
Oh yeah. Roll D4 for me.
2.
2. So of the 3 that were moving towards the rock face from where you guys were at, you come around the corner with the canine axe formed and take a large swing out, and you're able to sweep 2 of them up off of their feet, and as they collide into each other, they break and scatter. The third one kind of pauses and takes like a defensive position in front of you, just kind of like watching your movement.
He points the axe, spins it, and just like keeps it behind him as he would a bow staff, and takes a very similar stance to Frankie. Like as close to matching Frankie Oliver's fighting stance as he can.
While wielding a giant double-bladed axe. Love it.
How does that work?
So the one hand up in the boxing stance, other hand behind, holding it like a bow staff.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My fighting style changes, having a giant fucking arm.
Marcia and Gina. Your morphers show the bright colors of the spectrum ready to morph.
When I turn back around, is there still a dust cloud right in front of me at the head of the hiking path?
No, it's like moved around you, but it's not as tall as you. Is like it was kicking up the dust around your feet. So it just kind of like moves past you. It wasn't able to fully obfuscate the entire area, but it did give a little bit of coverage.
So I take out my phone and I go, "It's morphing time." And as soon as I flick my hand over the phone, that motion is also brushing all of the dust away. As I go, "Turn the page, ArcaKnights form, Pink Fae, ArcaKnight Ranger."
And the fairy queen Titania herself forms in front of you and then immediately pulls her body over yours, quick morphing into the Pink Fae ArcaKnight Ranger.
And as soon as that happens, I just want to very quickly, while that's happening, just before Gina morphs, just as my suit appears, I'm just going to quickly summon my Turbo Wind Fire.
The Fey Wind Bow? Yep. So as the morph takes place, you can feel the energy behind you immediately pool into your hand, forming the Fey Wind Bow. Are you making an attack?
I'm gonna make an attack, but I'm gonna let Gina morph first.
Okay.
All right.
Gina, it's the all clear.
Gina, even though she's got the all clear, she still just glances around to make sure like everything actually is clear, even though my phone is yelling at me saying it is. And then once I'm convinced of it, it's like, turn the page, ArcaKnights form, yellow Kitsune, ArcaKnight Ranger.
Yes. As Saren forms in front of you, the tail splitting and forming the ArcaKnight, the yellow ArcaKnight Ranger, quick morph, allowing you. Are you summoning your Tonfa, the Kit Tonfa?
Oh yeah, you know I got it.
Alrighty. As
I
the
got a Kitanfa.
form completes, the Kit Tonfa form onto your arms, ready to go.
Would you like
Now,
to
what would
take
you
an
guys like to
attack?
do?
So I would immediately like to fire a volley.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I get to shoot twice. Are there any Drauga nearby, or is it just us and Hesias here at this moment?
There are still roughly about 7 or 8 Draugr in the area. But Hesius is obviously the much larger threat right now. You do see the Black ArcaKnight Ranger had just dealt with 2 of them and was in a face-off with one in front of him currently.
So I want to fire at the 2 Drauga that are nearest to Peter.
Okay. Alrighty.
Thanks.
Number of ranged attack. Okay, so make two targeting or ranged attacks for me.
Hey, let's do 2 targeting.
I believe
So
it is
my
2.
So my first, hey, good. That's not good. Let's try that again. I fumbled there, so I'm gonna spend the story point to try that
Alright.
first one again.
We currently have 2 story points left after this.
Oh ho. Let's try that again. Okay, so my first is a 10.
Alrighty. And then your second.
Oh, and that was a critical success actually, because my
There we go. So
cool. And my second is 21.
awesome. As the Feywind bow forms, turning your arms sideways, drawing back, you can see the 2 arrows form. And as you release them, you watch them spiral over one another, heading towards 2 of the Draugr closest to the Red ArcaKnight Ranger. The first one looked like it was almost off course for a moment, but as it moved in that cyclic motion, it was reoriented by the second. The critical success on your second shot, I'm going to allow it to give 1 more to your roll of 10 to make it an 11 for both arrows to hit into both of the Draugr there. And so with that, your Feywind Fire bow deals 1 point piercing, I do believe.
Let me check again. Hold on. Let me actually look at the book, because the thing is not helping me at this moment.
I'm looking right now. It is 2 energy, I do believe.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So you deal 2 points of energy damage to both of those Draugr, immediately dispersing their stone and clay-like forms out and around. So that would be your action. Would you like to move any closer, or are you staying in the position that you're at currently?
I am going to stay there.
Alrighty.
Because if I can do that again, it depends on me not moving.
Yeah. Alrighty. Our yellow ArcaKnight Ranger.
Yeah. At this point, I imagine I'm still pretty far away from this guy, but there's probably a bunch of Draugr closer to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and burn a personal power to do my triple strike. And as I'm running towards what's his name? Big guy.
Hesius?
Hesius. As I'm running towards Hesius, I'm going to like try to take strikes at each of the Draugr on the way. That way I can take them down on my way to them.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and give me a power weapon or a martial arts attack. Roll 3 of them.
Yep. And my martial arts and my power weapon are both finesse. So 16 on the first one.
That hits.
Not 20 and 3 on the D4 for a total of 23. But on the second attack. And 18 plus 3, 21 on the third attack.
You hit all 3 of the Draugr in your forward momentum, connecting with each one of them. One with the tonfa, another with a kick as you go to flip over the top of it and connect with the third with another strike, moving closer to your allies and friends as each one of them, like one after the other, immediately crumbles and falls, breaks away, gives to your connecting punch.
Hell yeah.
And which one of your allies are you trying to get closest to?
I imagine I'm on my way to as close to the front lines as possible. So,
Alrighty.
Pete or Frankie.
Well, Frankie is currently 25 feet in the air, grappled along the side of a giant centaur.
Yeah, it's more of like stabbed into the side. Can't really fully grapple it like the last time I used this, but yeah, I'm in there.
Dior and Peter would be the 2 closest. Peter is underneath Hesius, and Dior is essentially off to the left side in front of it. So which one would you like to get closest to?
I'm gonna move towards Dior.
Okay. You get over towards where Dior is. Dior, you hear in your, not in your helmet, but in your other heads-up display, Morphing Grid energy overload. Sword incoming. You see a outline, though you're not 100% certain what the outline equates to. You're getting essentially the rough reading of the Morphing Grid energy that's moving through this Zord, but you're not getting an exact detail of it. All of you then see, moving through the purpled and teal-greened thunder clouds, a mechanized griffin break through the clouds. A large lion-like body, eagled, owled face, large wings pulled out. As they fold forward, you see the ends of the feathers glow with a bright white light before they end up flying directly into the body of Hesius. 8 or 9 of these feathers impacting into the top of him as Hesius pulls down and tries to block and move away. But with the wonderful grappling capabilities of the green ArcaKnight Ranger, he can't move from this position. All of you then hear the voice of Philo, but deeper, more aggressive. I'll deal with Hesius. I'll hold him here. Don't let the Draugr get to the power chamber. Don't let them get anywhere close. I've got this. As the griffin then pulls back, flies up, and gets ready to reorient for another barrage down onto Hesius.
I see that. and see this thing about to dive bomb again, and I'm on top of this thing. I'm gonna unravel. Can I let go and then like use my feet and do a bat flip off of this giant ass dude and land near Dior?
Absolutely. As
Oh.
you backflip off of Hesius, releasing the grapple, you land next to Peter, the Red ArcaKnight Ranger.
Oh, hey.
What's up? So we got some help. Maybe we should see what the hell's going on over there.
All right. Okay. And I'm just gonna. I guess I'll go with Frankie to go figure out what the heck's going on over there.
Those of you still looking over the area, the Draugr that were on the ground, broken, are starting to pull and form together.
Okay.
Very similar to what happened in the stadium. As you hear Hesius yell out, "I call the Draugr not! Help me!"
What?
So what? That's made up,
The
right?
Draco, what?
The Draga, huh?
As the Draugr begins to form in front of you all.
Okay.
That same. Go ahead. Oh, then the Draugr begins to form this, again, 12 to 15 foot tall Draugr comprised of all of the others' broken and destroyed bodies. Those of you in the area, make an alertness check for me. Dior, you have an edge on this roll.
Only a 7.
Alertness.
That's a 7 from me as well.
Yeah, also a 7 from me.
Jackpot.
Yeah. It's
Everyone
an 11.
go to
It's an 11.
Vegas.
Let's go. It's an 11 for me.
Alrighty.
One moment.
Combo breaker.
15.
All right, so 7, 7, 7, 11, and 15.
Yes.
11. Red ArcaKnight Ranger.
Yes.
As Frankie lands next to you and says, "We should probably take care of the Draugr. Leave Hesius to Philo." You look down, and where the lance had connected into the ground the first time, you see there's a large metal disc that was under the dirt and covered up here. Very familiar design on it. I mean, you grew up in Angel Grove. You seen the Power Rangers. You were a kid, but
Right.
it looks like somebody took the coins that were in their belt buckles and took all of those animals and put them all together in one giant coin on the ground. So there's the Tyrannosaurus, the Mastodon, the saber-toothed tiger, the Triceratops, the pterodactyl, all formed on the top of this large metal disc. There's now a large crack through it. Dior. Protocol Eltar Z. The power chamber has been opened, broken. The exact coding isn't correct, but some dark energy has made its way into the power chamber. And you are now aware that you are standing on the top of the power chamber itself.
Oh boy.
And the defensive protocols are starting to be engaged. As all of you begin to hear the cries of dinosaurs from inside the mountain. As the ground rumbles, the rock faces begin to break away. A stream of blue light appears in front of all of you. As that same Blue Ranger from the day before appears. I appreciate the help, Rangers, but I don't think your Zords are ready yet. I can at least call on these ones. And you see portions of the rock face open up, like garage doors, like hangar doors, as the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Triceratops, the Mastodon, the saber-toothed tiger, the pterodactyl begin moving out from it. Dior, there is only enough Morphing Grid energy in the power chamber for these Zords to be accessed and used one last time. And it seems as though all of those energy reserves are now being pushed and funneled into the Dino Zords now. The power chamber will no longer have any grid energy after this. As you are all watching, you can hear the Griffin ArcaKnight Zord above you continuing its barrage and attacks. When Hesius says, "Too many reinforcements. Fight me on your own next time." As he raises the lance into the air, a purple and green lightning bolt connects with it as the energy around him is pulled and thrust into the air. And Hesius is gone. The Draugr is gone.
Well, that was not as bad as it could have been, right?
We survived. Everyone got out. That's all we can ask for. Yo, Blue.
I point at
Thanks for the
crack in
assist.
the ground.
You pointed the crack in the ground?
I have a lot of questions, everyone. Starting with, and I point at the Blue Ranger right in front of us and go, "Who are you?"
There's a massive like gap in the memory file I have, isn't there? Yeah, all right.
The last time we saw you, you were severely injured.
As you say that, you watch as this Blue Ranger then drops to their knees and almost falls over onto their side.
I'll try to catch him.
Already. Very simple, very easy. You're able to move to the side, catch him. As you do, the Morphing Grid energy around this Ranger dissipates. You see Professor William Cranston. Frankie, you see Will.
We'll do a D20 roll to see if I react out loud.
That
That was a 2, so... Old man?
Professor Cranston?
You watch him, like, body is tired. It is worn. The Zords begin to pull themselves back into the mountainside as the doors begin to close. As they close, all of you see through your helmets the grid energy leave those Zords and try to repair the break in the containment piece of the power chamber to no avail. These swirling colors of red, pink, yellow, blue, black, trying to repair this broken power coin, unable to do so. Go for it.
I got an idea. We can use magic now, right? Can we help them? Maybe.
Can we?
We can try.
Maybe like if we all do it together or something.
Like, honestly, we
What?
can't leave it like this.
I
It
mean, we
feels
do
like
we do
sacrilege.
we do have these things. I pull out my wand. Like we
The
have
arc wand.
these. Yeah. Let's.
Didn't Hessia say they were trying to get the Vorpal sword and something else? What was the other thing?
One question at a time.
I think there was like
Let's plug
I
this
think there
hole
was like
first.
a magi staff or something. Maybe I don't know.
The Vorpal blade and the Notoriah.
The Notoriah. Well, why don't we ask the guy, the professor?
Is
Is it
Philo
even
still here?
possible to repair this?
Okay. He shoulders through the energy drain. It's worth a shot. That's Morphing Grid energy. You guys possess small Zeo crystals. You might be able to fix it.
They are different wavelengths.
You
Is
can
Philo
add
still
sound
here?
to silence.
Fair enough.
We can at least try. Even if it doesn't work, we have to try.
I'm
Do you
not
look?
opposed
Do you
to
look
help.
up to see if Philo is still here, Marcia?
I do.
As you look up, you see just barely out of visual acuity something flying away.
Okay, I'm gonna have a lot of questions to Philo after this, but
If there's no one else around except for the professor, I'm going to unmorph.
Okay.
Just, yeah,
You
swipe
guys
down.
watch
I
as
forgot what the unmorph statement was.
close the page
Close the page.
as Dior returns to his civilian form.
Dude, what the? I don't think we're supposed to do that.
No one's supposed to know.
It's different with
Though,
him.
does that apply with other rangers?
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
He'd also know a bit more about my situation, I think. I'm going to head to the crack first and just examining it, seeing if there is something that we can do with our positions.
Give me a technology roll.
You're good at this. You got this.
I'm good at this. This is one of the few things I'm very good at.
You should be good at technology. You're a robot.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
This is Pluto saying it, not Frankie.
Anyway, that's a 23.
The spectrum colors that are there, trying to repair it, are missing a spectrum color. It is missing the green spectrum energy.
Frankie,
Yeah, what's up?
you can try this. I think you'd probably be the most necessary for it.
Okay.
did
I-
you just? I think
Oh,
you mean
damn it,
the
you said-
Green Ranger.
Well, no point in. I closed the page. Damn it! I demorph in front of the professor.
I mean, he kind of like looks at you for a moment and just, you yelled, old man.
That
You are
could.
the
I
only
mean, he
person-
looks like an old man. That could be anybody.
You are the only person I know of that refers to him as old man.
Besides the point. Anyway, what can I do?
If you can tap into your level of the morphing grid, I'm assuming your magic might be the same wavelength.
Okay. Rowan, does that sound like something we can do?
It's something we can try.
Okay. I just we can see like the energy like coalescing.
Mm-hmm.
I just hold my hand out like over where it's like all together and just try to like channel. Like I just try to force it through. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Give me a spellcasting roll.
It's a D2, right?
Yep.
That is a 17, and I rolled a 2 on the D2.
As the green morphing grid energy forms in your hand and you go to funnel it forward, for those of you watching, looking at it, the way the energy is presented, you can see there's this raw, almost aggressive validity or volatile nature coming from it. And as it connects, you could almost swear, Peter, you especially, that you hear the roar of a dragon as the energy connects into that cracked area. The red, blue, pink, yellow, black, and now green starts closing that off. And as it looks to almost be complete, everyone but Frankie and Dior roll alertness for me.
Okay.
Ooh, that is a 10.
That's a 5.
That's a critical success 10.
My dice hate me today.
Oh, Peter and Marcia. Gina, this is you cast magic for the first time not too long ago. Literally less than 5 minutes ago. And it seemed to just naturally occur. You didn't see this volatile nature from your magic, or even from Marcia's when she was running and those dragonfly wings had formed on her back. It's almost as if something tried to force itself through Frankie's magic. Like something from him was forcing itself through instead of the magic just moving as it should. Marcia and Peter, you see Flamel running up the pathway in very, very old armor. A griffin-like helmet over his head, but you can still see his silvered hair coming out the back of it. Pauldrons, a large gauntlet clawed like a griffin's talons, running up and towards you guys. As you see, the closer he gets, bits of that armor start to disappear off of him.
He's stealing your look, there, Frankie. The gauntlet.
A little busy. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're doing it. Okay? You're doing magic. Yeah.
Out of breath, Flamel runs to William Cranston and removes the gauntlet from his arm and puts it onto his. And you watch as Flamel disappears. Like ash on the wind, the man is no more. As you see the white griffin ArcaKnight Ranger form appear over Professor William Cranston.
Yeah.
Wait, did he just...
How many times are you gonna watch old men die or almost die?
Yes.
Holy
And that's where we'll take our break.
Ay.
I mean, I mean, Billy was due to take over another Ranger spot at some point.
I mean, honestly, he's
We're
he's
gonna take
like
a
the longest lasting
10-minute
Ranger,
break.
and I love it.
10 minutes. We'll be right back here. One of our players does have to leave us, so I'm going to try and get through as much as I can before they have to go. So, a 10-minute break. We'll see you guys all here shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to ArcaKnights, a live play Power Rangers series here on the Initiative Order, where our Rangers had faced off against one of the generals of the Dread Hollow, Hesius, and a couple of Draugr who were attacking the power chamber. And as the fight seemed to start to turn in their favor, as a Blue Ranger appeared and brought forth 5 Zords to begin an assault, Hesius fled. And as he fled, the Blue Ranger's power dissipated. The Zords lost their connection to the Morphing Grid, and Flamel returned in his former armor as the White ArcaKnight and passed, or seemingly passed, his power to Professor William Cranston. Frankie, as the energy coalesces on the cracked cover of the power chamber, you see it begin to seal. And behind the 5 Zord forms, you see a large dragon appear behind them on the metal disc, almost as if it had been carved there, but in waiting to be restored. As your new White ArcaKnight Ranger stands before the rest of you, well, let me show you what you were protecting. As he moves to the rocky crag that Frankie and Dior had morphed behind, he sets his hand on it, and you watch it shift and move and reveal a staircase leading down, as fading blue lights on the walls start to turn white and become brighter, as you hear, "Close the page." Professor Cranston stands and begins walking down the stairs.
I follow. You were a ranger this whole time too? What the hell, Professor?
I will also follow. Just
Yeah,
laugh.
I
I'm
moved
following.
to follow, but I also close the page and turn off my thing. I figure he's one of us now, so it's fine. Did Flamel really just like die?
He was over 1,000 years old.
think
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't want to live that long, having to watch generations of people that you love. I
As you
don't
guys
blame him, but he could have said goodbye.
As you guys are having this conversation, appearing next to Professor Cranston, you see a silvered spiritual outline of Flamel. I never left.
what the
I simply
What?
gifted my power to one who would be more understanding of the 5 of you. I am still here, though incorporeal now. As I said, the Morphing Grid connects all living things, and so I now live with the Morphing Grid.
Does that mean we have to live forever?
Yeah, do we become grid ghosts if we die? I don't want to be a ghost. The hell?
Are we gonna become force ghosts when we die?
Oh, yeah, this is totally like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It is, right?
Did you strike yourself down? How do you
Also,
gain?
this
How
is
do
a
you
very
strike
traumatic
yourself
way
down
to
to gain power? I'm
to
so
give us this
confused.
information.
Yeah, this is pretty traumatic.
It was not for the theatrics before the necessity. I would have much rather have passed him the Griffin talons and power in another way, But seeing as how Professor Cranston is very well versed in grid technology, he may be able to bring your Zords here.
Exceedingly well versed.
As you guys continue down the staircase, you come to a door. On the door, there are a series of different symbols. One set very familiar to the metal circular disc on the top of Ranger Point, with each one of the dinosaur creature coins separated down a line. Then next to that, you see a series of geometric shapes: an oval, two ovals, a triangle, a square, a star, and a six-pointed figure. Then next to that, you see what looks like tires. And on the rim in the middle, you see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as you guys get closer, Professor Cranston raises a hand, now with a very similar ring to all of you, sets it next to those symbols, and you see 5 books form down in a line. The one at the top with a dragon, the one beneath it with a fairy, the next a Cerberus, the fourth the kitsune, and the fifth a centaur. And as each one begins to make itself appear on the metal in front of you, you watch as your rings glow. And the same glow on your ring appears to each one of the books engraved onto the metal. It says you'll now be granted access to the power chamber. As the doors open, within you see a large, circular, very technologically advanced place. There are panels and computers set up. There are several sets of tubes with different colors within each one. The first, a series of 7. The next, a set of 6. The next, a set of 5. Each one showing different colors. The closer you get looking within, you can see the uniforms of former Rangers within each of the tubes, corresponding to the color. Each one showing 3 different Ranger teams that once called the command center its headquarters, its base of operations. You also see, in the center of the room, a large glass tube filled with mercurial liquid, with no light shining through it, unlike the rest of the power chamber. As Professor Cranston turns to the 5 of you, he says, I was the blue Triceratops Power Ranger, part of the first group of Rangers here in Angel Grove. And this is underneath what we called the command center. It was the base of operations that we used to protect Angel Grove and the world from Rita Repulsa, Lord Zed, the Machine Empire, and many others. When the command center was destroyed, we found the power chamber, which is this, as he spreads his arms out to everyone. This was Zordon's ship when he crash landed here on Earth hundreds of years ago. It was here that his protection droid disassembled himself and the ship to create a life-sustaining power tube in order to keep Zordon alive. About 20 years ago, Zordon was taken from us, and he sacrificed himself in order to bring hope to the rest of the world. Those of us who still were rangers or wanted to keep helping the world, we did what we could with the morphing grid energy that was left here in the power chamber. And you can see he's starting to tremble. There's a sadness that's starting to set over him as he's explaining this to all of you. When your connection to the power grid starts to dwindle, it becomes more and more dangerous for you to morph. It becomes more and more taxing on your body physically and the energy that is within all of us. My friends are doing the best that they can around the world and through the universe to help keep everything safe. But they are being kept from coming back here by the ones that you guys are now fighting against. And he moves to one of the panels, and you see a pedestal raise out of the floor with a large globe, glass globe on the top of it. And as it settles, you see holographic projections start to fill the inside of it. Within, you can see fragments of other ranger groups fighting in other worlds, other dimensions, other universes. And you can see that at one point they were all connected to one another. So rangers would have the capability to move and help those who needed it the most. And as he types a few more keystrokes into the panel, you see that some of those connections sever and are broken away. And these fights are now becoming more and more strenuous for the rangers in the worlds that they're in. And you can see a red ranger akin to the Tyrannosaurus Rex red ranger trapped in one. You can see the yellow saber-toothed tiger ranger trapped in another. You see the black mastodon ranger trapped in another. You see the pink pterodactyl ranger trapped in another. I never left Angel Grove. I went to another planet for a small period of time. And when I came back, my friends were gone. And I noticed that there was dark grid energy moving through Angel Grove again. So I built the protection field for Angel Grove, because I knew I couldn't fight them by myself. I knew that another series of Morphing Grid energy had recently activated, and I got hopeful that something reconnected my friends back to here. And that's when I found Flamel. And he told me that he had sent his 5 new rangers to help protect the university. And so I went to help those 5 new rangers. I didn't know it was any of you.
Yeah, class is gonna be a bit awkward now.
Explains why you were at the stadium then.
Yor scratches the back of his neck.
That's a lot to take in. So you're like all these other teams, and I gesture to like the other two sets of suits are spread out, and your four friends are just can't come back for some reason at all.
Some of them wore more suits than one. Your uncle wore 5.
Whoa, wait, what?
Dang. Your uncle was 5 Rangers?
Uncle Tommy was 5 Power Rangers.
At the same time?
Wait, is that what those weapons you gave me were?
I didn't give you any weapons.
Who sent those then?
The box had his name on it.
Had whose name on it?
Williams.
Yeah,
He said I didn't give you any weapons.
I described the weapons to him. I got like these 5 different weapons sent to the dojo with your name on it.
He leads all of you over to the tubes with the suits. He stops in front of the green one first. He says, "This was your uncle's first form as the Green Dragon Ranger." And you see next to the suit, the dragon dagger. Then he steps over to the white one. And then he became the White Tiger Ranger. Leads you over to the next set. Stops in front of red. He was the Red Zeo Ranger. And then steps to the next set. And he was the Red Turbo Ranger. His 5th was the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, but he didn't operate out of the power chamber when he was that. That is tucked away somewhere that I don't know.
Explains why he was always so busy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Your uncle thought that with Zordon having been on Earth for as long as he had, and the stories that were told in the past, that there were other Rangers long before us. So he got into archaeology and paleontology and trying to unearth and find other proof of other Rangers. It wasn't until I noticed the other energy that I found Flamel and found the first of Earth's actual Rangers.
So, what do we do from here? Flamel said he chose you because you could help us out more. So, what should we do?
Yeah, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
You see the spirit of Flamel form in the power chamber again. And he walks all the way over to a far wall. And he goes, "Well, if you're going to be working out of here, as well as the Arcanium Plexus, we should make sure you can move between the two." And as he touches at the wall, you see oak wood doors form over the metal itself, with the emblazing symbols of the ArcaKnights around the outer trim of the door. And his hand touches the doorknob of it, and as it does, the doors open and you see into the Arcanium Plexus from the power
Whoa.
chamber.
Well, that's convenient.
Did you just like create some sort of dimensional travel barrier?
I folded the space between the two areas as close as they were. It wasn't much.
You created an
That's
Einstein
in
Rosen
much.
bridge?
You guys are
Is
just
that a
making up.
thing that
You
we
guys are
can
just
do
making up
more of?
words, right?
Because we'd
I'm
like
pretty
to
sure I'm
like
making
use
up
that to
words.
go to class and stuff.
You can just
Can you explain
make
that
the
in
copies
simpler
of
terms
yourself.
for the two jots? And I point to myself
Yes,
and Peter.
I'm like agreeing, please.
He made a wormhole.
Yeah.
Like
A
in
physical, and he puts his hands up, wormhole.
Yeah, a hole full of worms.
Thinking about it for a moment.
Do y'all not get into scientific theory at all? Because he literally just created a Einstein-Rosen bridge out of random magic, I guess.
I deadpan
and
at
that
you.
is a feat.
I stare at you deadpan. I'm like, I'm a pop culture major.
He studies
So-
dragons.
So
Yeah, dragons.
he made a Stargate.
Oh, like in oh, okay, that makes more sense. I got you now. I think I've saw that shit before.
Professor Cranston looks to the five of you and says, if you'll let me, I can convert our old Zords to become your new Zords.
That would be helpful.
Yeah,
If we have to
definitely.
fight things as large as Hesios was earlier, we're gonna need them.
I mean, I kind of had him right where I wanted him before Violet showed up. So
You watch the wall with all of the ranger uniforms on them slowly begin to slide and shift down. And as it does, you see now moving into place where that is the hangar of the 5 Dino Zords. Flamel's spirit moves over towards them and is kind of looking them over. It's much easier to put metal together than it is actual dragons and centaurs and spirits. Well, why not try to put your familiars inside the Zords?
All right.
Pulls his phone and just looks.
That sounds dangerous. Are you sure that's a good idea?
Magic's
I'd
only
like-
dangerous if you allow it.
Before we do dangerous things, Flamel, I'd like to ask a question.
Of course.
When we were scuffling with Hesios back there, he said something, and so I'm not from here. I've picked up a lot in some of my travels from some other places, and one of those things is the name Yamaya.
And what is your understanding of that name?
The goddess of water and the rain in the Orisha tradition. I'm not of Yoruba faith myself, but coming from the Caribbean, I know a lot about that.
That was a title that the witch Amaya had carried when she moved through the islands and the oceans. She refers to herself now as Amaya,
I see.
but there may have been a call to old times for Hesios to call her by an older name.
Noted. Just wanted to be sure we weren't engaging in something so much older than ourselves that
Oh,
there were
no.
things that we still didn't need to know.
Amaya is about as old as I am. Amaya has had many names, just as Hesios has had many names. Hesios had a title at one point of Doulahan, I do believe it was.
Okay. So we are in fact dealing with what I think we're dealing with. This is going to be
What you want to fill us in? What are we dealing with?
question about Hesios.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
When I was on him, Hesios is Rowan's brother. How
What?
does that work?
Flamel's face drops. Yes. Rowan
Okay, that's
promised
something
to
else you could have known.
protect. Rowan promised to protect all life. Hesius only wished to protect his own.
Never made it past the me versus the world stage. Never even got to us versus the world, let alone just us.
It was the Red ArcaKnight, Alaean, who had removed Hesius's head in their final fight.
Ah,
He's gonna have it out for you, Peter.
Noted.
Fratricide. Interesting.
Any
Right.
other soap opera subplots we should be aware of before we perhaps irreparably put our familiars inside these giant robots?
Dior kind of raises his hand a little and then lowers it and looks over to the hangar again.
Flamel looks to you, Marcia. Amaya has attempted to take Titania's place among the Fae court for the better part of time.
Cool. That will be fun.
Look at his phone.
Hmm.
Do you have any issues, Chiron?
None that are
Okay.
here.
Awesome.
I'm seriously confused. Like,
Yeah, we need like
we have some legitimately, you're a Nepo baby, right, Frankie? Okay.
I'm a what?
Nepotism baby. And Peter's obviously like a good leadership type person. Used to be captain of a sports ball team. Like,
Football,
what am
but
I doing here?
Flamel says, I believe Peter is descendant from Atreus. But that's
What?
something we can research later.
Oh, you're Power Ranger royalty. Good on you, bud. And I smack you on the back.
He looks to
I need
you,
talk to my
Gina,
dad.
and says, one who understands all sides of the spectrum, compassionate and creative, understanding, thoughtful, well-versed and knowledged. Saren spent the better part of his time holding others to the values of their spectrum. If they said they were something, Saren made it a point for them to stand for what they said they were. Respectfully, but compassionately. And I believe that is why Saren chose you.
Wow, okay, that's big, but I can't argue with that. Thank you.
I will leave Professor Cranston to answer any further questions for now. I need to see to it that Philo knows that he will be answering to someone else.
Have fun going to converse with the other Force ghosts.
As he wisps away. Professor Cranston now looks to the five of you and says, if willing, the Zords take the form of the morphing energy that is placed within them. I think over time, we can reinstitute the Morphing Grid to these Zords, and they will become your own Zords. They won't appear as this, but they will hold the experience and power that these once had, with your new capabilities added to it.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Let's do it.
It's worth a shot.
Question though. Red, yellow, blue, black, pink. Where am I aiming mine at?
You're going to take mine.
Okay. Are you sure you're fine with that?
He would get Philo.
Call it a parting gift.
Okay. Cool. Appreciate it. I mean, the horns kind of
As-
match.
Each of you move forward towards your respective colored Zords. Although Frankie in front of the blue Triceratops. A podium appears in front of you with a small opening on the top. That looks to be just about the size of the cut of the gem in each of your rings. Says we'll funnel some of the Morphing Grid energy into it, and it should begin their transformation. It might take 2 or 3 times to keep it consistent, but we can at least start the process. If Hesius and the Dread Hallows are already calling to become much larger, you need to be able to fight them on their turf.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
As each of you place your rings into the podiums, you watch as the energy pulls forward and covers the outer portion of each of the Zords. Peter, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, now begins to start to resemble a massive red dragon. Marcia, the pterodactyl, moves from being perched to almost standing elegantly as the form of Titania, Queen of the Fairies, begins to take the place of the pterodactyl. Dior, the mastodon, the horns roll and pull back, forming 2 additional heads as the Cerberus Zord begins to appear in front of you. Gina, the saber-toothed tiger, you watch the bladed tail then fan into several as the kitsune form begins to take its place over the saber-toothed tiger.
And its teethies also start to shrink a little bit.
Oh no, still just as snarly. Frankie, you watch the Triceratops begin to form into the centaur Zord. The body elongating, the head raising as arms begin to pull and appear at each side. It'll take a few charges, but at least the process has started. You
Cool.
guys should get some rest. We can talk more tomorrow or
Hey,
whenever
Doc,
you need. Yes.
before you go, what's the deal with the on-campus housing? Because we never got to finish that competition, and this hotel is getting kind of expensive.
I have an answer for that right now. And then the credits appear. That is where we were going to call it for tonight. Unfortunately, one of our players does have to leave a little bit early, so we had to cut the session a little short here. All of my Rangers, you level up to level 2.
Let's go!
Oh.
And so by the time we get to level 3, your cycles of imparting morphing grid power to the old Dino Zords, they will now be your ArcaKnight Zords once you get to level 3.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So, with that being said, we're going to go around the cast real quick, tell everybody where they can find you on the internet, what you got going on, and we'll wrap up for the night. And we will start with Alec.
So hello, I'm Alec the Bard. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited for that Dragon Sword. You can find me as Alec the Bard pretty much anywhere. If you check out my YouTube, Alec the Bard, you can see all of the actual play projects that I'm working on. There are 5 this year that are happening, so make sure to check it out. Episode 3 of Heroes of Bastion drops Saturday. Yeah, that's me. I popcorn.
Pluto.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Pluto, non-binary bisexual streamer. I have a few projects going on right now. On Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern every week, me and the wife have our podcast, The Gainer Gossip, where we talk about a mix of tabletop, acting, TikTok, pulp culture related stuff. That's on Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, and YouTube. On Sundays on my Twitch channel at Pluto Cleric, I am running a Starfinder actual play at 8 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. I believe we were coming up on episode 4 for that, and the playbacks are on the YouTube channel. And then coming up next month on March 7th, I will be running a dark dystopian superhero game using the Fate core rules on Open Circuit Studios that our GM may or may not be playing in. And on March 14th, I went back on TAO. Also on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be running a Dresden Files Accelerated game, as I am currently speed reading the rest of the books before that. I am on book 12 of 17. I got 2 more weeks to do so wish me luck that I could focus enough to do that. But
Popcorn,
that is
your next person.
we'll go to Brandon.
Hello, everyone. It is me again, Brandon O'Brien. I am a poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. You can find me almost everywhere on the internet at The Rising Tides. I am also doing a lot of actual play stuff. I am one of the co-hosts of the podcast Speculate, which you can find at speculatesf.com, where, among other things, I just dropped up a mini-series of Girl by Moonlight called Fractal Spire, and just GM'd a one-shot of Boy Problems, because that's a lot of fun if you're in the mood for that. I am the author of this poetry collection, Can You Sign My Tentacle, which is the 2022 Elgin Award winner. So if you're into poetry about the gods of the Cthulhu mythos coming down to Earth to get rappers' autographs before they leave town, please check this out. And you can find some of my RPG stuff at itch.io, including the splash page for Hero Revolution, which is a Kamen Rider-inspired RPG that I'm presently developing at this moment, if you're interested in that. And I will pass it to Krimsin.
Hey y'all, I've been Krimsin Galaxy playing Gina Garcia, and that is Krimsin, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. You can find me on Twitter at sin_gal. You can find me here and on Instagram at Krimsin_Galaxy_RPG. If you want to catch me in any games later this week on Wednesday, are Things from the Flood game that we have going on over on Party White Games at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I'm actually bringing a new character into the game, so if you want to meet that new character, come check it out. And then on Friday, you can catch me playing some Monster of the Week over on Cybernation Uncensored at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and at 5 p.m. Pacific time, you can catch me playing some Don't Rest Your Head over on channel Other Doc, also on Twitch.
Last popcorn goes to Javante.
Hi everyone, it's Javante. You can find me on my Twitter at JHEV as in Victor AUNTE. I don't have a lot of projects going on. At some point coming up here soon, TM, I'm going to be in a Dishonored RPG one-shot, which is going to be a joyous time. For other projects that I am in, if you keep an eye on my social media, I am working with the ever so talented Drake Cross and a bunch of amazing artists writing out a entire wrestling show for VTubers called VWF. First show is going to be coming out here on the 29th, hopefully, once I finish that. I am fully writing the promos, the in-ring work, and the commentary, and that's going to be my project for the next while or so. So keep an eye on that. Outside of that, I have my own podcast slowly forming. I just need a little bit more time. But if you were interested in kaiju and anything of the kaiju mythos, from Godzilla to Gamera to Ultraman, Kaiju Files is going to be releasing here also soon, TM.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I am Will, Arclight Court, lore keeper of Arclight Court. A lot of wonderful projects coming your way. This is by far my biggest passion project that I absolutely adore and love, that I get to share with all of you and build this with you guys and see where you take it. Because after this, I got monsters and you guys decide what you're doing. All the lore has been presented at this point. You can find me all over the internet at Arclight Court. That's Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all over the place. But before we wrap up for the night, we're going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. That includes Session Zero Clothing, creators of awesome TTRPG inspired streetwear. Use code ORDER at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Then we have Norse Foundry, creator of artisan stone and metal dice. If you use code TIO15, TIO15, you'll get 15% off your purchase. Another amazing dice crafting group, our friends at Mithril Armory. Use code INITIATIVE. You can get 10% off of your purchase. And finally, our very own Terran, creator of Umbral Oculus Dice. If you use code INITIATIVE, you get 10% off a full set of dice. Thank you guys all for joining us here at ArcaKnights, a Power Rangers Live Play series on the initiative order. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you being here and all of my wonderful players. And on Mondays, it's morphin' time. Have a good one.